I used to tell my friends, if there's one thing God has blessed Toyin Abraham with, it's the power of access. IYALODE is the show of all the Yoruba Nollywood legends. She has that kind of grace that she can call whoever she wants on her set. And they will not just show up, they will show her support. And it's a good thing for her. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here we do basically movie reviews and all the gist going on in the industry. And today is not going to be an exception. And because it is promised to be an explicit review. And trust me, you will love it and you will enjoy it. Let's get down to the right business of the day. IYALODE is an epic film produced by Toyin Abraham and directed by ADEBAYO tijani. It's a story of Ashabis adikaka, a fearless female warrior on a quest for justice and redemption of her mother's village. As power, betrayal, and tradition collide, she did everything to reclaim her destiny. IYALODE is a story of love, betrayal, fierceness, portrayal of mystic powers, and rich cultural display. IYALODE is not a flop. She employed the writer and to work with her on this film because she was not the writer. I think ADEBAYO tijani wrote the film and scripted it and it directed the film, and she was just the lead actor because she's still the producer and she's still the executive producer of this film. And trust me, it is one of her best in recent time. I must not lie. It is very hard for me to say because Toyin Abraham has always been a kind of person who does mid movies, to be very honest, but this one is not a flop because she employed good hands to cater for this production, and it was a great one. Trust me, it is a great one. Special shout out to Kehinde Bliss. She is my major highlight of this film. Trust me, there's so many people who did stunts, there's so many female warriors on this film, but her performance really showed her forth. She gave us that professional. Out of all the scenes in the movie, it was just the few scenes that she was shown fighting that really gladdens my heart. I feel elated that someone in Nigeria, that a Nigerian can fight professionally the way she fought. And I think I learned that she is a stunt master herself, and she was trying to teach so many people on set how to fight professionally. Trust me, it was an Oscar performance. And if I have my way, Kehinde Bliss, if you are fortunate to see this video or this review, trust me, you are a star and you are the next big thing. One of the major highlights of this movie for me is the fact that the set was not scanty. Oftentimes we've seen plenty epic movies and they will be displaying a whole village, a whole marketplace, and everything will be scanty. We just have few numbers of villagers, few numbers of people in the market woman, and numbers of people, and the display would just be like a closeted location. But IYALODE depicts a large numbers of people, and which is very, very appreciable. I really love the fact that she did not manage cast. She shows us the feel of a true village, a true epic village film. I could see the details in the people grounding pepper, people pounding yams, the passerby. The film was just great and excellent for me, I must say. And as much as the fact that the film was shot in Afishata village, it is the number one film that I will tell you out of all the films that was shot in Afishata is the film that does not really show that it was shot in Afishata, compared to others like Lishabi and this Iyabo Ojo film. Our own location was done in such a way that it does not show repetition of so many places that we've seen, and I really appreciate it. Trust me, I really do. I really appreciate it. I think at this point, Peju Ogunmola should be given a lifetime award. It shouldn't be just all of these English Nollywood actors or people that have passed away. There's just something about her epic role. She eats her epic role and puts definition to it. She doesn't do too much, but she gives that depth that I really like for me. And she doesn't need to act with so much energy before she brings out that fierceness, and which I really love. And trust me, she is a fantastic actor and she needs to be recognized. IYALODE is said to be a film of a female warrior who is exposed to the art of fighting, art of warriorness, or the art of warlord, and someone who possesses a mystic power. I like the fact that it was very shown. It was shown in this movie. There were different war scenes compared to some other epic movies that the fight that is just one or two war scenes. Yalo they depict so many war scenes, so many battles, which I really appreciate. In all honesty, the whole war thing might not be so authentic, but she made sure she showed so many war scenes. She showed so many scenes where she was doing her mystic powers, where she showed how powerful she is with her experience in the mystic power, which is very appreciable. You will enjoy all of this back and forth of incantation and all of those with the show of different stunts and all of them, which is very appreciable. Trust me, Yalode is a great one. It is a great one. Outstanding performances from the special effects and visual effects department. I really love the thing they did with the Ile persona. I didn't even know it was a lady who acted that Ile persona until when Toyin Abraham herself gave an appreciation post about the lady. She did well, and I love the fact that they were able to give a physical representation of the Ile in the person. I think I tagged it Ile persona because I love what they did with the sand and the wood rigs, the dried wood rigs. It's brilliant. You would ask me, it's very brilliant, and it is very, very laudable, and I love it. Personally, I love it. I love what they did with Bejo Gumola's statue too. It was real, it was great, it was cinematic, and I love the fact that what they did with the amputated, and although at first they were scared to show it, probably they just removed one of the scenes at the post-production, and because the first introduction of the amputated hands was not really perfect to me because it was looking too fake, but at the long run, I think that they improved on the appearance and made it more real, and it was just good. It was just delight to see that they are experiencing new things, they are experimenting new things, and to be better in their craft. I love it. As beautiful as the casting was, this casting for me was not a great one, because if it was, ask me what Wale is doing as the king and kehinde Bankole as a top warrior. They didn't perform at all. Both of them are great actors, trust me. They have proven themselves worthy in several films, but I feel like Toyin Abraham knows how to do something, try to be commercial, but in being commercial it's always a flop because she tends to put people in roles that does not fit them, and it might really be a disaster to watch, because I was struggling to relate with Wale Ojo's character as the king. The fierceness, the whole redundancy as a king was not there. It was completely a joke for me. It was completely a joke, and even when he was asked to recite incantation, it was as if he was reciting rhymes, and everything feel forced. It was not really a great one for me. And kehinde Bankole, she was very heavy. She was very heavy in delivery. It was very heavy, especially in the war front, and the expression, probably because I've seen her in a greater element and I was expecting more from her, but for this film it was a no for me. And someone else could have fit in for that role, and someone else could have fit in for Wale Ojo's role, aside the fact that they are faces of the cinema and Toyin needs them to sell. But for the perfect casting, both of them does not fit the role at all. I personally could relate with the plot twist and the ideology of making things confusing till the latter part of the film, but I think it was not done well. Yes, it was not done well because 70% or larger percent of people in the cinema was confused, and at the first 5 scenes we were like, okay, we gave the excuse for them of probably it was trying to build up because there was so much going on, while there was nothing that we could pinpoint that was the direction of the film, and it got tiring, it got boring, and a lot of people was bored, and if it was like a Netflix movie, or it was a movie that would be watched at the comfort of your house, you might just stop and probably focus on something else. But it is a good style of storytelling to choose, but let us be mindful whenever I want to choose that kind of storytelling, we should not lose the focus, because I think at a point where they lost the focus and everybody got tired. I think it should be done in a very careful and smart way, because if it must be done in a smart way, because it can just cause the viewers and the audience to be uninterested at a point. That's what I feel about the plotting. cinematography department performed woefully, for a cinema project of that magnanimous and for that weight. There were too many unforgivable errors for that kind of big movies. If it was to be a YouTube movie or probably a movie to be seen at the comfort of the house, and such cinematographic mistake was made, then it would have been forgivable. But for a big project that is expected to translate to so many countries, and the very first thing, like the very first thing people would see the cinematography error, the transitions, the shaky footage in the transitions. And it brings me to the fact that I went 2010 or 2012, and I'm quite disappointed, because Adebayo Tijani is known to pay attention to his cinematography department, because I've seen several of his movies as a director, and the cinematography is great. The shots, although they gave the best shots in experimenting different shots, because I could see the excellent bird eye view, the zoom, the close up, and the normal ratio shots. But there were so many shaky footages. There were so many shaky footages in the transition, and it is unforgivable. It was distracting. I could go on and on. But the first 20 scenes, the transition was very poor. It was poorly done, and even to a layman, a tyro, they will know that there's something wrong with the cinematography department, and it could have been done better, because it's a big project and something more is expected. Although the professionalism was evident in different angles of the camera, but the transition, probably it was a post-production problem, but it is still a cinematography department error, and that does not need to keep showing, or that does not need to show in this era or at which Nollywood is going. Costume, the warrior's costume was designed by Toyin Lawani, Tiana's Place Empire, and everybody knows Toyin Lawani to be a crazy artistic designer. But for this movie, it is a no for me, because every of the Lord designs, the dress, the warrior's dress, the warrior's outfit, it was looking too modern, especially colors, war regalia, Tony's war regalia, and every one of especially all the warlords, it was looking too modern, and it was not giving the epic, especially the golden ones. Everything was just too modern, and anybody who is not an expert in the design department will know that, okay, this was designed by a modern day designer, and it was not given a peak at all. And if you would ask me, it shouldn't repeat itself. Tony is a great designer, he's a great fashion designer, but for epic, I think it's a miss. Aside Kehinde Bliss, the stunt master, and also Aisha Lawa, which I'm very surprised to see a performance in this movie, every other warrior's performance was very whack and very, very slow. This is not the first time we'll be doing something related to stunts and war, and I think Nigeria or Nollywood at large should have improved, but this movie falls short in the performance. Even IYALODE herself couldn't swing a sword like a proper warlord that is trained to fight with swords. She was just slapping. I don't think there were scenes, as much as there were so many fighting scenes, she didn't bring out so much delivery in the part of fighting, and we could see they were just too lazy. Everyone on the set was too lazy to give a good fighting performance. And if you would ask me, I think we should, if at all, movies like this should be produced, like if it is going to be 3 scenes of fighting, every of the fighting should worth it. And it is uninteresting, it is boring, and it's chaotic. It's chaotic to see, and the fight was just everywhere. And if it was a movie that we could have a control on our phones, I personally would forward most of the fight scenes, because it was uninteresting. The only delight for me was Kehinde Bliss, and also Aisha Lawa. She picked herself. I really love it, and shout out to Aisha Lawa. If you would ask me, IYALODE is not a flop. It's an enjoyable movie. It's entertaining. For the name of it, it's a great watch. It's a great watch. And for rating sake, drum roll, I think I will rate it 6.7 over 10. For the story, it is good, and for performance to an extent. So let me know what you think about this movie, if you've watched it, and what you think about this review. So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you like, share, comment, and click on the subscribe button to get updated whenever I would drop juicy content like this. So see you in my next video. Bye bye.